Alright, I want you to pay very, very close attention to this video because this is some really fucking valuable shit. Not just because it's coming from me and I'm biased, but because it took me years to figure this out. We've all heard people say that the only way that you really learn is through experiences, through lived experiences, not just from reading them out of a book. Not just from like learning about some shit that somebody talked about in a speech, but actually going through things. So I've heard that over and over again, and I'm like this is being said to me over and over again for a reason. Like, I'm not just hearing it just because. So I sat and I pondered on it, and I'm like, damn, like, I went through a lot in my past. Like, I've been through a divorce. I was born to a drug-addicted alcoholic mom. My dad struggled with alcohol for a little bit at one point. I've been through 2 suicide attempts, 2 hospital stays because of that. I've been through all this shit. And it's like, damn, why didn't I learn anything from any of that stuff? And I learned that life is lived backwards. We have to go through the stuff first, gain the strength to be able to look back at it, because as we're going through it, we're being broken down. And then after you're broken down, you got to build yourself back up, build the strength so that when you revisit the past, you're not hurting yourself. So this is lesson number 1. I was dipping back into the past to try and learn things, and I wasn't learning anything because I was just hurting myself, because I wasn't strong enough to actually look at it and not have it fuck me up again and feel as if I was reliving it. So that's valuable lesson number 1. So I would keep going back to the past, like I said, and I would come out like worse than when I went in. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm supposed to be learning shit. So another thing that I recognized is that as I was doing that, as I was going back into the past, I was recreating things from my past. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? How am I repeating patterns from my past? Like, shouldn't they be gone already? Shouldn't I be moved past that? And we all know the way that conditioning works. Our environment, our childhood, our upbringing conditions us to be a certain way. And you won't break out of those patterns until you really work on changing them, really gain the willpower to be able to break the patterns. I didn't have that. Also, I was putting too much energy, too much time in the past. And that's why I was recreating things. So I'm like, fuck, dude, that's lesson number 2. Like, when you go back into the past, you're literally just going to create awareness of like patterns that you have, of behaviors that you had, and then like come out, you're done. You're not supposed to stay there and keep giving energy to it because it'll fuck you up. So, lesson number 2. Do not put too much energy into the past. Go, learn what you need to learn, and then come back out. Now on to lesson number 3. I'm like looking at my past, and like when I started wanting to be an entrepreneur, and I'm like, damn, I had all these goals set, but I never accomplished them. And I fucking ruminated on that. I sat on that for way too long. I beat myself up. I had all these goals and I didn't accomplish them. I ran my mouth so much to all these people, they probably think I'm an idiot. I'm like creating this shame, this guilt because I said stuff that never happened. Some stuff did, but the majority of it didn't. And I'm like, fuck, that's embarrassing. That's shameful. I feel guilty for doing that because those people like were cool with me and now I'm not friends with them. And what I ended up doing by ruminating on all that shit is I started creating resentment towards myself. So that's lesson number 3. The reason I created the resentment is because I had expectations of myself that were not realistic during that time. Like, I was not the person. I wasn't even close to being the person that I needed to be in order to accomplish those things. So I set all these expectations for them not to be met, and that's literally how you create resentment, is having unmet expectations. So I created resentment towards myself, and then guess what happened after that? because I had that resentment towards myself, I started projecting it onto other people with anger, with like irritability, with disbelief in other people, because I created so much distrust through myself, through saying I'm going to do all these things and not doing them, that I projected all that shit onto other people. So I learned so many valuable lessons trying to do this thing over and over again. This thing was going back into the past to learn from my past. So now that I've like built myself through fitness and nutrition, I've built some self-mastery through tracking my food, through hitting the gym, through like all these habits I have in the morning. Now I'm strong enough to go back. So now I can go revisit it and I'll be solid. But the whole moral of this story, yes, there were those 3 lessons, but do not try and revisit your past until you've built the strength to do it and you've built the willpower to be able to do it. Because otherwise you will just mess yourself up even more and you'll set yourself further and further back. So don't do it to yourself. Like, give yourself the time to build strength. Give yourself the time to get to where you need to be in order to do it. Don't try and do it before then. For those of you who know of somebody who has a traumatic past and you know they need to make amends with it, please send them this video. You guys can learn from my mistakes. I want you to be able to like help other people too. Like as you consume my stuff and learn, like send it to other people. The whole point of this stuff is so that you guys don't have to repeat the mistakes that I made. I learned them for you. Go spread them to other people and let them learn from them too. Like if you really value the people around you and you know they could get some sort of value from this, send it to them. Let them know, hey bro, I think this could really help you. Also, if this was valuable, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be putting out a YouTube video a day. A YouTube video a day. Till I fucking drop. That's my commitment. That's what I want to do. So subscribe to the channel. Take everything that I have for you. It's free. I want you to learn. I want you to grow. I want you to thrive in life. Just take the info I give you and fucking run with it. Please, bro. Catch you in the next video.